Hi, welcome back to the Year 9 weekly walkthrough. So Year 9 this week have been looking at terrorism, and they've been looking at the response to 9/11. So they looked at how we went into Afghanistan with the United States and various other countries, and we've been questioning whether that was the right choice or not. What we're trying to do is challenge some of the conventional innate sort of will within us for retribution. You know, we all naturally like to think that if we're in the right, then a strong, firm response squashes the things that shouldn't happen. The idea of reconciliation, it's uncomfortable for all of us, but we challenge some of those things. So we look at a metaphor of whether we should drain the swamp to stop the mosquitoes or not. And the idea that if you keep swatting the mosquitoes, they keep coming. If you drain the swamp, then they won't. And that swamp is the conditions that create terrorism. So we ask, well, what are those conditions? Is it our involvement around the world? But then are we willing to pull back on getting involved in protecting people's rights around the world? Is it closer to home? Is it the way we value people in our society? How is it that the majority of terror attacks we see are actually committed by citizens of that country who perhaps don't feel that they're part of it anymore? So we question whether our values or our treatment of people in our society pushes people away. We're not legitimising these things at all. What we are trying to do is pause and think, okay, are our actions effective or not? If we push people away, if we ostracise people, if we make them feel that they're not part of our community, is it any surprise when they then respond that way? And don't hear what I'm not saying. I'm not saying that we are in any way saying that these things are understandable. What we are trying to do is we're trying to understand them so that we can then counter them as best we can. We also look at things like the press. When we talk about conditions that create terrorism, is the media the swamp? Because not only do we see xenophobic and Islamophobic headlines, but actually all these reporting of terror events, does that give them the oxygen that they need? Where if I don't see that a guy stabs two people on London Bridge, it doesn't encourage me to do it. But if it gets massive publicity, then suddenly as a potential terrorist, I see it and go, oh great, I could do that too. So is the media the problem? Are they the swamp? All we're trying to do is dig away at the challenges behind this issue rather than taking it at a really superficial level and say, okay, do we get involved? And if we do, what's the appropriate response? What would work? Hopefully that was of use. Tough thing to talk about. Have a great Christmas, and I will hopefully speak to you all again in the new year.